Forget the 4-hour course. Forget the AOS folder. Forget the funnel. If you're a one-person business right now, only one loop decides if you survive. Quote, invoice, paid. If you've been told you need a website, a CRM, a newsletter, and 3 SaaS subscriptions before you can take money, you've been lied to. I'll show you the single Claude Code file that runs the cash-in loop for a real invoicing product I ship to paying SMBs in Serbia, end to end, in about 90 seconds. Most Claude tutorials skip billing entirely. I'm Lazar. I run this loop daily on my home server. Let's start with the part nobody warns you about. Here's the part nobody warns you about when you start a one-person business. You spend weeks picking a domain. You spend another week on Notion templates. You watch a 4-hour course on building an AI operating system. And 6 weeks in, you still haven't sent a single invoice. No money has moved. That is the failure mode for almost every solo founder I talk to. And it has nothing to do with skill. It has to do with sequencing. You built everything except the one loop that puts money in your bank account. So today, I'm going to flip the order. I'm going to show you the exact Claude Code setup that runs the cash-in loop for a small invoicing business I operate. Walk you through the 1 markdown file and 3 slash commands that power it. And then we'll watch a real quote to invoice to payment reminder cycle execute in about 90 seconds. By the end, you'll know exactly what to build first, and just as importantly, what to skip. Let's talk about why existing solutions fail solo founders. The standard advice is to grab a CRM like HubSpot, an invoicing SaaS like QuickBooks, or Stripe invoicing, an email tool, a document generator, and stitch them together with Zapier. That stack costs you somewhere between $80 and $200 a month before you've earned €1. It also takes about 2 weeks to configure properly, because every tool has its own client list, its own templates, and its own export format. You end up with 4 sources of truth and 0 hours saved. The other failure mode is the all-in-one AI operating system approach, where you build this beautiful nested folder structure with prompts for marketing, sales, ops, finance, and content. It looks impressive in a YouTube thumbnail. It produces 0 invoices. So here's the alternative. 1 folder on your machine. 1 CLAUDE.md file that tells Claude how your business works. 1 clients.json file. 1 invoices.json file. 1 templates folder with 2 HTML files. 1 for quotes and 1 for invoices. That's it. No database, no SaaS, no platform tax. Let me walk you through the CLAUDE.md file first, because this is the brain of the whole thing. At the top, I describe the business in 3 sentences. Who the clients are, what services I sell, what currency and VAT rules apply. Then I list the data files and what schema each one uses. Clients.json has an ID, a legal name, a tax number, an email, and a payment terms field in days. Invoices.json has an invoice number, a client ID, line items, an issue date, a due date, and a status field that is either draft, sent, paid, or overdue. Then in the CLAUDE.md, I describe 3 workflows in plain English. Workflow 1, generate a quote. Workflow 2, convert a quote, an invoice and email it. Workflow 3, find overdue invoices and send polite reminders. That's the entire context Claude needs. Now the 3 slash commands. Inside the dot, Claude slash commands folder. I have quote, invoice and chase. Each is a short markdown file that tells Claude what arguments to expect and what files to touch. The quote command takes a client ID and a list of line items, opens the quote HTML template, fills it in, saves a PDF to a dated folder, and logs the quote in a quotes.json file. The invoice command takes a quote ID, copies the line items over, assigns the next invoice number, calculates VAT according to the rules I wrote in CLAUDE.md, generates the PDF, updates invoices.json with status sent, and drafts an email to the client with the PDF attached. The chase command reads invoices.json, filters for anything past its due date with status sent, and drafts a polite reminder email per overdue invoice, referencing the invoice number and the days overdue. 3 commands. That's the entire cash-in loop. Now let me show you what this looks like live. I open the project folder, I run Claude in the terminal, and I type /quote, client ID 12. Then I describe 2 line items in natural language. Something like 15 hours of consulting at €80 and 1 fixed deliverable at 400. Claude reads the client record, pulls the right VAT rate, fills the template, saves the PDF, and shows me the path. Total elapsed time, about 20 seconds. The client says yes by email 2 days later. I type /invoice and the quote ID. Claude generates invoice number, calculates the totals, produces the PDF, updates the JSON, and drafts the outgoing email with the PDF attached. I review the email, hit send. Another 20 seconds. A week after the due date passes, I type /chase. Claude scans invoices.json, finds the 2 that are overdue, and drafts 2 reminder emails with the right tone and the right amounts. I read them, send them, maybe 40 seconds. So the full quote, invoice, chase cycle, which used to take me 20 minutes across Word, a PDF generator, my email client, and a tracking spreadsheet, now takes about 90 seconds of active work across the whole month per client, and the quote-to-paid cycle compressed from roughly 9 days to about 3, because nothing sits in a drafts folder waiting for me to finish formatting. Here's what I want you to take from this. Build the cash-in loop first. Not the website, not the funnel, not the AI operating system, not the content calendar. The loop that takes a yes from a client and turns it into euros in your account. Once that loop runs reliably, then you earn the right to build the next layer. The next thing I'd add is inbox triage. So Claude reads incoming client emails and tells me which ones need a quote. After that, lead capture. So new inquiries land in clients.json automatically. The website comes last, because a website without a cash-in loop is a brochure, and a cash-in loop without a website is a business. If you want this exact setup, the CLAUDE.md file, the 3/ commands, the JSON schemas adapted to your specific service business and wired into your email and bank. That's what we build at BizflowAI.io. Go see real cash-in loops we've shipped for clients. While you're here, hit subscribe and ring the bell so the next automation breakdown finds you. And if you've got a workflow that's leaking money or time, book a free 30-minute discovery call at BizflowAI.io, and we'll map your cash-in loop together.